Hi, Happy New Year. I'm Miss Paige. Welcome to Upcycled, Recycled Cardboard Critters like this dog. This is one of my most favorite projects to do, and I'm so glad that I can be back virtually in my dining room slash art room to create with you in the new year. And I hope everybody had a good holiday season. And now we're gonna use some of those boxes and maybe other supplies you had coming into your house to make some really cool, fun, imaginative, or realistic creations. So I have a dog. They can be this big, and this is a little bit more realistic. They can be a little bit smaller and more colorful, like this elephant. You can get really crazy and make something even this big. Like, I'm not even sure what he is. Is he a dog? Is he a pig? He's kind of a little bit realistic and imaginative, so they can be very large. Or you can even make something as teeny tiny as this imaginative creature. So there's lots of different things you can do with your cardboard and your supplies, and we're gonna get started next with showing what you need to use. Okay. Okay, the supplies you need for this project are so simple. You just need boxes like this. They can be really big like this, cardboard boxes. You can have just small pieces that are already cut up hanging around the house to use. You can even use leftover breadcrumb or cereal boxes to use. They make good designs. If you have fun little pieces that some gifts came in like this could be a great eye, right? That would be fun. I even have a cat food treat box that almost reminds me of a robot right away. So this could be a fun eye or a design on the animal. If you have the back of a notepad, those work really well too. So basically, you just need some type of cardboard, any size you want to work with. And now we're going to pan to my art table so you can see some of your other supplies. You definitely need something to hold the pieces together. So you can use packaging tape, duct tape. I recommend a stapler because it holds the pieces together right away and you don't have to wait for anything to dry. Because if you use the glue, you're gonna have to let it sit for longer until the piece is dry to hold it up or decorate it or anything like that. So a stapler or the tape is the best, I find. And the tape, especially if you use color tape, can actually add designs and texture to your projects. And then you probably want some kind of writing implement, whether it's just a plain black Sharpie marker, a pencil, even if you just have a regular pen around the house, in case you'd rather put an eye on using a marker instead of paint, because that can be a little tricky. If you'd like to paint your animal like I did, then you're just gonna need some paintbrushes. But if you don't happen to have paintbrushes where you are right now, other things from that box of holiday gifts can come in handy. You can use small pieces of cardboard to paint with. You can even use Q-tips to paint with, right? That would make a good polka dots or a good eye. If you had bubble wrap in your packaging, that creates wonderful texture for fur. If you didn't have bubble wrap, but you have a piece of paper towel, look at the designs in there. And if you use that to paint with, that can also be wonderful. You could even smush up some wrapping paper that you took off of a gift and actually paint with that. So there's many options if you don't have a paintbrush on how to get the paint on the cardboard. Now, you can paint your animals any color you would like. I usually use black and white to make sort of a gray, or sometimes I add a little brown in, and I make them just a basic color like that, because then I use colorful things like miscellaneous scrap papers to add onto them. Sometimes I'll even add some yarn onto them. I can add some paint marks on them, or colorful permanent markers. And then if you don't have paint or markers or yarn, good old Crayola crayons come in really handy too. You can just color your cardboard and make texture and designs with these. And then if you have a stamp pad and you love to do stamping, you can stamp letters on your creature. You can get things with different textures to stamp on. You can have leaf shapes or bugs you can stamp on your creature. So there's many things you can do to add details to your creature once it's painted. And you might also want a pair of scissors, and that's about all you need. The basics again are just the cardboard, something to hold it together, and then somehow to make designs on it. So let's get started. All right, let us start using the simple approach. So if you really like your cardboard more outlined and perfectly cut out, you can just do that. You can get a pair of scissors and a thinner piece of cardboard, and then you can do what Matisse did and just draw with his scissors. So what I'm gonna do is just sort of draw, I don't know, some imaginary animal. I'm not sure what it's gonna be. This is the best part about it, is sometimes you just let your scissors kind of do the work for you, and then all of a sudden you think, oh, maybe it's a turtle. All right, so I cut out this part, and so far I have a turtle. But is it a turtle or is it like a gull with a bill? So now I have to decide what I would rather do. So if I want it to be a turtle, I'm just gonna cut some legs like this, and then cut this piece out. And now I've made it more of a turtle instead of the bird. So you can do something this simple and then go ahead and paint it. My next creature that I'm gonna show you that was really fun to do was, I took a cereal box and I just went like this. I just started ripping it apart. This is the best part. Oh, and here's another animal. Look, you just get them automatically. All I did was tear off part of the top, and can you see it? Maybe if I turn it this way, you see it. And this could even be the eye, right? And you could just paint a little bit. So would this be like a dog? Would it be maybe a dragon? I don't know, but here's its tail and here's its head. And then maybe you can cut out some more legs right here. So let me show you the one that I did first. This was the first cereal box I did, and I thought, that is a dragon. And so I just took my scissors then, and I did cut out a few more little humps and spikes on it, but I love the way the roughness looks for the tail. So I left that, and then look, you get a surprise on the back with all these cool colors and writing that you can do. So now the hardest choice is, are you gonna paint this side or are you gonna decorate this side? So now with this piece, this is big. I don't know, what should I do? Maybe what I could do with this one, instead of cutting out legs, is I'm just going to maybe try to rip out his belly, right? Because we don't have to make these perfect. This is your art, your design. This is just kind of a fun thing to do. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna rip this off too, because now I have a bigger belly and two legs, one here and one here. And then I'm gonna rip his tail a little bit smaller, because I just feel like it should be a little bit smaller. And now, what should I do up here? This could be a hat or hair, but I think I want more of a nose on this guy. So I'm gonna just keep ripping until I like. Now this one we're doing with the cereal boxes just happens to come out in one piece. They don't always come out in one piece like this. A lot of times you have to put them together. Ooh, now, I don't know, is it a pig? Maybe a raccoon. If it's a pig, we need to take the tail off. Is it a raccoon? If it's a raccoon, then we can leave the tail on. These are all the decisions you get to make and have fun with. What is it gonna look like? How are you gonna paint it and decorate it? So I'm gonna put this one aside, but that's how you use a cereal box. And if you're lucky, it just comes out in one piece. Now, when you get to this bigger corrugated cardboard, it's a little bit trickier. These are the ones that made the dogs and the animals behind me. I actually did these at the nursing home. It was so much fun to watch the residents rip the cardboard. If it's a big box like this, it's gonna be a little tricky maybe to rip. You just have to grab the pieces and kind of fold them and just pull with all your might. Ugh. And then the neat thing is, because it's corrugated, you get this effect where you get a little bit of texture already there. So now, I don't know, look, thanks for being awesome. That's kind of cool to have on your animal, right? So this could be part of a head maybe, and this is maybe the mouth, right? That would look good. So maybe I don't need any more parts from that. And maybe this could be the body. Ooh, yes, look at this. Here we go. We have just one piece as a body and then the head. Oh, but this is a nice big piece too. Look. I wonder, I think I need a tail. Let me see. Let me see if I could just rip a piece. See, you have to really have strong arms to rip some of this, but this is the fun part, because how often do you get to rip a box apart? Oh, I think I got a tail. Now you have to decide which side you want it on. So I think I'm gonna do it like this. And once you put it down, you can always decide whether you like that or not, and then keep ripping it or changing it. Oh, and you know what? This piece right here is so corrugated. That could be a great ear, because it has all that texture. Now, I think I need some legs. Now, this is the tricky part. Do I leave this belly, or do I make it more straight across? And then if you don't want to do your animals 2D like this, that are just all flat and would have to be hung up on the wall, you can also make them. Let me get some of my other cardboard scraps down here, because I have a lot of them. You can also make them where they can stand up. And to do that, you would just have to cut a piece of cardboard and put a slit in it. And then you would just put this like this, and this like this, and then your animal would stand up. Now, I don't have it all together yet, so the ear is gonna fall off and all that, but you would. So you kind of have to decide how you're gonna do this, because my belly on this animal won't work now with these legs. So this is where you'd have to play and see what you prefer. I prefer to do flat pieces because I can put them right on the wall. So what I'm gonna do is demonstrate how you're gonna put this together to attach it. So if you have tape, that's great, but like I said, the stapler I think works the best, because even if you want to use a little tape afterwards, you've got it a little held together. So I just go across and put it together in as many places as I can. And you have to do quite a few staples if your cardboard is big, because this way it assures the pieces will stay together, because this cardboard is pretty heavy. And once you hold it up, it can fall apart. And the staples actually will add a nice little texture to your animal too, once you get it, start painting it. So now I have this. Look at this, isn't this great? This is so cool. I still don't know what it is, but, and then I happen to have some straight pieces of cardboard that I think I'm actually gonna do my legs like this. So I'm just gonna staple these on. Now, if it's one-sided, you can staple this leg right here. So it's gonna look like it has 4 legs, right? But you could also staple the leg on the back, so it does look like the leg is behind the other one. So let me, you know what I'm gonna do? Staple this one on first, and then I'll flip him over, and we'll staple the 2 on the back. Oh, and look, it had a smiley face on it. I should have maybe put that on the front as decoration. So that's how much fun you can have playing with these, is using the box marks for designs too. I have a great box sitting over here with wrapping paper that has these wonderful designs on it. This would make a great animal. So what do I have left to do? The ear. So my question is, do I want a square ear? Sure. We'll just make it square. We don't have to change it. So I'm just gonna put that on, but I'm not gonna staple the whole thing. I'm gonna let it be, whoops, a little flappy. This one didn't get stapled too well. Let's try that again. Maybe up at the top. There we go. This way it has a little bit of movement to it too. All right, so this is the first creature we have put together from pieces. So you can do this, get a big box, put your creature together from many, many pieces. You can just cut out a very small creature from a thinner piece of cardboard if you like to do that. Or you can rip a cereal box apart and get some really fun medium-sized creatures. Next, we're gonna demonstrate how to paint them. All right, this is the fun part of the creative process too. I mean, I like cutting up the cardboard, but painting is actually so fun. So again, I'm just gonna either use black, maybe a little bit of silver, some white, or some gold, but I don't put it in a tray. I literally just take it and sprinkle it around like this all over. Ooh, maybe I'm just gonna make my animal look like this. Ooh, that looks actually kind of nice, doesn't it? And then I'm gonna take another color and I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on and mix it in. And then I'm gonna use, so here we go. I'm gonna demonstrate the different ways you can paint. If you wanna paint with a piece of cardboard, you would just put it on and then scrape the cardboard across. Look at all that. That is so cool. It gives the animal all these really fun designs, right? And the paint is mixing as you're going, but you don't always know it's gonna happen. So this, I love painting with cardboard. So there's his body. You can use a paintbrush. I love these really old paintbrushes where the bristles aren't very good, just because they actually give, look at that. It's like, it's dry. I don't put my paintbrush in water, and look at the fur texture you get when you do this, because the bristles are old and they're not really wet, and you're just taking the dry method and moving the paint around. So now he looks very shaggy, doesn't he? Maybe I'll make him a little shaggy over here too, just to make it look a little cohesive, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, this is the fun part, so I love just experimenting with how all this works. There we go. And then I also said you can paint with bubble wrap or paper towels. So let me just get a little bit, and if you notice, I haven't put more paint on, and there's still a little bit on my brush. I just keep kind of rubbing it. Oh, you might need to lift the ear up and paint a little bit underneath, just so that if his ear flaps up one day, he looks like he's finished. All right, and then maybe put a little bit down here on his mouth part. This is where you get to choose. Again, you're getting to choose everything, what your pieces look like, how you're gonna be painting it, how big it is, if it's 2D or 3D. All right, and should I do, maybe I'll do look at that texture. So the corrugated cardboard from underneath gave his legs stripes. That's great. And a little bit here, and then I'm gonna demonstrate how to add more texture with the other painting tools. Oh, and look at this. I'm just painting inside of those lines. Now the paint I'm using is acrylic paint. Acrylic paint dries the fastest, but you can also use tempera paint or even house paint. If your parents or whoever you're with at the moment has house paint down in the cellar or outside in the garage, you can use that too. You just have to be a little bit more careful, because that will stain a lot more than acrylic paint will. And you might not want to use a good art brush for that either. All right, I think he's looking pretty good. All right, so now I might take a little of this bubble wrap and just kind of, oh, this has a nice little pocket I can put my hand in too. And then I might take a little gold or a little white and put some on the bubble wrap and just kind of go around and make designs on the animal. The gold isn't showing up too much. So you know what, I think I'm gonna go back to the white. The gold was a little bit too much like the cardboard, right? So now I'll just take some of the white and, ooh, look at those polka dots. That's pretty cool. And then if you put this on and you don't actually like the polka dots, you can actually take the bubble paper and just go like this and use it bunched up. So just experiment with how you want to paint. This is, like I said, is the fun part. Here we go. I still have a lot more over here I can put on. If you don't like how the bubble paper's working, try some paper towel. You'll kind of get a similar effect. Maybe I'll try to make some stripes on his tail. Ooh, look at that. That's kind of nice. And then I can make some stripes. And I don't have to make too many details on him right now because I might use some extra materials in the end to actually make some more details. So I'm just putting on a thin layer of paint right now. And maybe, you know what? I think I need a little bit more black on his head. I don't think his head has enough paint. So we're gonna go like this. Oh, that would make a nice eye. That's a little bit better. Just get some really good thick covering on here so that when I want to put an eye on, I'll be able to see it and have a nice background for it too. Now the paper towel soaks in the paint a lot faster, as you probably just noticed. I haven't been able to use it as much as I did the paintbrush. So I'm going to go back to the paintbrush a little bit over here and fill in just a little bit more. But again, this is just your base layer. So you can do it as much as you would like or as little as you would like. I'm going to leave him, I think, just like this, and then I'll add more details later. Now what I wanted to show you was on my little guy, I had done just polka dots but didn't paint him. I'm gonna actually paint him, and I'm gonna do him silver. I don't know why, but I am. And I need another paintbrush. Here we go. So I'm just gonna, even though the silver looks a little bit like the cardboard, I'm just gonna give him a little bit of extra color. So that way the background, when I put more details on, the background is a little bit different and the details will pop out. But again, I'm leaving it a little bit rough. I'm not doing it perfectly because I like the texture. Like this looks like it's gonna be a good eye spot, and this looks like his bill. So already, just by leaving the paint like that, I've got some good things going on. All right, so that's another one done. Now we have these cardboard ones from the cereal box. This was the one we cut out together. So let me see. Do I want to do it on this side? Or do I want to do it on this side? I don't know. And I'm thinking about this tail. I'm not sure I like the tail right there. Ooh, much better. Now he looks more like a pig. I think this definitely is a pig. And I think I'm going to do it on this side because I think that's going to make a cool eye. So I think I might just put the tail on right there. So maybe what I'll do to attach this tail is use a little packing tape. So basically with the packing tape, you just want to tape it on and you'll get some nice design with that. I'm not going to use a lot. I think that's good. I'll leave it a little flippy too. And then now I have to decide how I want to paint this. It's got the yellow and the black and the red. So do I want to put white all over it? Or do I want to put more black? Maybe I need to make it pink. I'll be right back. Let me go get some pink paint. All right, I'm back. I didn't actually go for pink. I came for blue because I love blue. And I thought with the blue on this box already that we would have a blue pig. So I'm gonna go like this. Oh, but you know what I wanted to see? I like his eye, but I also remembered that we had this. Wouldn't that be a cool eye? It would make it like 3D. So I would lose the heart, but I might have to tape that on afterwards. That's really a cool idea. All right, so I'm gonna paint this piggy. Ooh, look at how good he looks. And I'm gonna leave some of, I'm gonna just go right over that eye now because I think I'm gonna do the 3D one. I might leave some of the yellow because yellow and blue and purple are kind of complementary colors, and so it might look nice if he had a little bit of the yellow left on him. This is a different acrylic paint that actually, it's not gonna dry as fast on here. Oh, and I'm gonna leave the white for his feet too. It won't dry as fast on this cardboard because the cardboard's shiny, so it's not gonna hold the paint and have it soak in as fast as my corrugated cardboard did. But this gives you a chance to actually mix colors. So I just added a little bit of this teal, which I really like. And, ooh, look at that. Get his nose. I might change his nose a little bit, but I don't know. And then if I use that white eye, it will show up really well. So I have a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow, the blues and purples. So pick any color you would like. And again, paint it any way you want. So you can see I'm just using a paintbrush for this one, not any of the other ways. All right, I think I'm gonna call him done. And I do need to wait now before I can put the eye on because the tape or the staple won't work as well on wet paint. So after all this dries, we'll be back and then we can add all the fun details to your animals. See you soon. All right. Well, I let my pieces dry a little bit. Hopefully you probably had to do that too. And I took a little break and I changed a few things. I actually don't know if you'll notice, but I took the bottom part of this off of this big dog. I just sort of was looking at it and thought, I don't know that I need that on there. The other thing I did was I had that paintbrush that was so full of paint from our pig that I just took it and dry brushed it and cleaned it off on my dragon or my dinosaur. And then I also thought, you know, I should have told them they could paint both sides of their animal. So I had the silver turtle on one side and thought, you know, I'll clean off the rest of my brush on the other side. Because that way, if you wanted to hang them in your room like this instead of up against a wall, you'd have two different sides that would be finished. So that works. So now the fun comes. Now comes the part where you can add any detail you want or nothing at all. So I was looking at this pig and I really liked this white eye on it. But then I placed it on my dog over here and thought, wow, I really like the way that white pops out against his face. So I thought I could do two things. One, I could leave it like this. Or two, I could just use this as the stencil on the inside to paint an eye, which I do think I am gonna use, or maybe that should just be his big pupil in there and I could just staple. I think I am gonna leave that on there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to staple it on. The poor blue pig isn't dry yet, like I said, because he is, let me see if I can put him here. It's a little bit hard when you have a small space you're working at. The shiny cardboard doesn't absorb the paint as fast, but I definitely like this. So I think I can kind of open up. This was just a little box. And if I open it up, I wonder if I can staple it through there. This might be a little tricky. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this. Maybe I won't be able to use it. Maybe I could staple it through the center. I might just have to glue that one on instead of stapling it. I don't think that's gonna work and I'm gonna lose some of the eye. So I'm just gonna take a little clear glue. It almost stuck already with the paint on it. And I'm gonna put some on and then we're just gonna let it sit. So I'm gonna try not to move the eye at all. And we're just gonna let this sit like that. Ah, but I love that. Look, whenever you add an eye to your critter, it actually brings it alive right away. So I would recommend once you've painted it and it's dry, the first thing you do is find some eye. Whether it's a 2D eye or you just take, like here's my monster, this is my second monster. Even if you just take a marker and you make, I always like to make kind of big crazy eyes like this, right? But once you make the eye, look at him. Now he looks all alive. So you can do it like this. Maybe his eye needs to be thicker. So that will help you then decide what other details he might need. And if this is as far as you want to go and you're happy with your critter like this, by all means, leave it like this. But if you want to get fancy, you can maybe add toenails to his feet, right? Just like give designs to his feet. So you can do that. You can take, yes, there's this Christmas wrap, because you know what? This cardboard side I did blue, but on the other side was all this really cool Christmas color. So this could have been like the Christmas dinosaur. And you can actually just take some of the paper and maybe cover up places you don't like. So you can just collage on some extra paper like this. Maybe cover up the people's faces if you don't like that part. And do that if you'd like. What I think I might do, let me see, my stamps. Sometimes I like stamping words or letters on things. So maybe he's gonna be getting sleepy, and I'm just gonna be doing a couple Z's on him, like, it's time for bed. But this gives just a little added texture and some fun. You can even do his name. So if you came up with a name for your critter, you could just stamp the letters on here and have fun like that. Oh, and the other thing you could do is just take some wadded up gift paper and go like this in the ink and make designs on it too. Now I'm not getting that much coming off because I used the blue and the black on here already. So I think for him, a better option might be if you have a paint marker. What color eye do I want him to have? Maybe I'll have him have a light blue eye. If you have a paint marker, you can just shake it up and then add a little bit of detail for his eye like this. This is always really fun. Look at that. It already adds so much to it. Then I might take my white pen and fill in his little light spot, maybe make a circle, and then maybe even add stripes around his eye. Look at that. And it just makes everything so much brighter. He looks so cute. So now I have to decide, what do I want to do for the rest of them? Do I just want to leave him? Maybe I'll put a little bit more white in his toes. And if you don't have a white paint pen, you can actually use whiteout that an adult in your house might have for correcting mistakes. That would work too. So I don't know, I'm thinking he's pretty good like this. I think he's almost cute not having too much decoration, but just a little bit. So I might actually set him aside. That's the good news, is if you're working on a couple of them at once, you can kind of go back and forth. And sometimes if you add a design on one, then you think, oh, that would look good on him. And I know in this box from gifts that we got, I actually have some extra ribbon laying around. So I'm wondering, does my dog maybe need a bow? Oh, he'd look cute with a bow, right? So you can actually make a bow and add that to your critter. Oops, I'm having a little bit of a hard time making the bow. There we go. And then you can actually just staple that on. Oh, he's cute with a bow. Look at that. So you have all these different options. There we go. Can do a bow like that. If you don't like him with a bow like this, you can actually go back to one of your other critters, like this one, like maybe he just needs a whole collar. I don't know. This one was really cool because I started adding the yarn on him for fur, which I love. You just squeeze a little bit of the Elmer's glue all over the animal. And then maybe I'll need, oh, whiskers. Let me add a couple whiskers on. So I just squeeze a little bit anywhere. And then I start cutting up some of the yarn into pieces. And then you can just add little whiskers to his face, because a lot of times dogs do have whiskers, right? And so that could be just a fun addition. Now, once you use this glue again, you're gonna have to let this glue dry before you lift it up or hold it up, because it'll all slide off. So you have to just remember that. Oh, look at him now. There you go, and you could kind of play with it a little bit. He looks funny, right? It's cute. He looks like an old man dog now. I don't know. So he's kind of cute now. I'm holding him up carefully. And I would go ahead and finish more fur on him. I'm just doing a little bit just for demonstration purposes, so that you can see how you can add any miscellaneous items you have at home to finish your critter. So there's that. There was leaving it plain. There's this big eye. So now, what am I gonna do with him? He's so big. I kind of almost like him like this. I don't know. Maybe I will definitely add like a round toe to him, I think. So I'm just gonna maybe put a little bit like this. Now, I probably wouldn't see it on that side. I would see it on the other side. Whoops, I lost a leg. I lost a leg. That's the thing, when you staple them together, you just have to make sure that they are very well put together. Otherwise, you lose a leg. Your critter can't lose a leg, right? Let me staple that back on. Staple it on from this side, see if that helps. Sometimes it's just hard if the cardboard's not thick enough. Sometimes you don't get the staples all the way through. So I'm just gonna do this foot and this foot. Wow. And so again, you don't have to do a lot with these. You can make it very, very simple. And you know what? I'm just gonna add some polka dots or stripes on his feet. I like the way the white looks on the black. It just gives it a little bit of fun detail without too much. There we go. So I think for now, I actually like the way he looks. He's got his eye, and his eye is very white, but he has that big pupil. And then he just has his feet here. And then I'll have to think about what else I might want afterwards. I could have put some fun hair up here. I could put big, bold polka dots on him. I'm not sure. That's gonna take a little thinking. But the one thing I wanted to do was, if you have a critter that's this small and you didn't have paint or a lot of things around, but you had this box of crayons, you could use the crayons to actually make your details. So let me see, on the blue side, let me see. Wonder if this pink would show up. What do you think? I kind of like pink, because then maybe you see, well, no, you see it a little bit. You have to press a little bit hard like that. And then, see if I have a darker color to give them a pupil. Yeah, that works a little bit. The crayons, it's a little bit hard on paint to use crayons. So again, if all you had was crayons, you could just go like this and have fun scribbling the background color on. And then you can actually mix your colors. That's the good thing about crayons, is you can actually combine colors together to give you texture. So I have two blues. What else might I want on him? Oh, maybe some of this purpley blue, pink color. So you can just do this and have just as much fun. And then maybe do his legs in pink. That could be fun, right? And maybe do his horn in pink. So it doesn't need to be complicated. This project can be as big as you want, as small as you want, as fancy and detailed as you want, or as simple as you want. So that's the good thing about doing recycled, upcycled cardboard critters, or actually any art, right? Because it's your art. So you can do anything you would like. Anything that you would have fun with that speaks to you. So now he kind of looks like he's tie-dyed. I don't know. That's kind of pretty cool. And then if I had the marker, I might just do a simple eye with a marker, right? Oh, maybe give little eyelashes, maybe do those stripes there. I think it needs a smile. Oh, maybe. Should we do stripes this way? Oh, I don't know. So again, you can experiment. This one looks totally different now than this one. So again, just keep experimenting, keep playing, and the most important thing is just to have fun. Hi, as I started to work on my characters a little bit more, I just wanted to go over a little bit with you about how important having light and dark colors is on your character. As you'll notice with my first dinosaur slash dragon slash imaginary creature, I pretty much had left him just how I painted him, but I had put that blue in the eye, and then I thought, you know what? He needs some more light color around, so I put some blue up here, but you couldn't really see it, so I added the light white. And I thought, you know, it needs dark now, so I went ahead and did the black and the blue and the white, and then made a few designs pop by adding some bright white and light blue again. And I think now he looks much better. He's still very simple, but using those dark and light shades really helped. If you notice on the big dog, I finished him by the white eye. Of course, you saw me do that, and that really pops. I put the bow back on him, which was a much different color. But then I highlighted his feet with some white stripes, like little toes, and that made his feet really pop out. I added a little white spot on his nose, a little white, some little white whiskers, and a little white eye spot in his eye. And just doing a few simple things again helped define him a little bit more. Remember when I put the white on his tail, that gives a nice texture, and if you really wanted to, you could go through part of his body and even with your fingers, just add a little bit of white on here if you wanted it to look more like fur. The turtle was fun. I decided to use the wrapping paper that was in the box. And because the wrapping paper is a much lighter color than that dark blue background, the hat and the shell and his feet now pop out very well. And so does his eye because I used the white and the black in there. On this dog that we had been doing the yarn with, I had put the yarn on. I thought, you know, the yarn is so similar in shade to the paint, and it didn't pop out that much. It added a nice soft texture, but it didn't pop too much. So I went ahead and added some white fur in paint. You could do that with yarn also if you wanted to, or ribbon. I just did it so I had a couple different things going on. And then I added a little bit more white around his eye and a little bit more white to some of the whisker area up here and his nose. So again, play with light and dark. Here was the pig, and as you notice, the pig changed a little bit. I shaped his face a little bit rounder. Then I didn't like some designs I put on his face, so I used my fingers and I added some light blue on to make it look a little bit fuzzy and take away what I didn't like. I'm still not sure about his tail. I think that might be a little bit too big. I might cut it right here, because now he almost looks like a gerbil. I added the ear, then I took some light paint and I took the back of a paintbrush and I just made polka dots with it. I did the eye, and I didn't like the eye. I used the cat food oval that I had showed you earlier, and so all of a sudden I thought, you know, if I add yellow to it to bring in the yellow from the box to the eye, that would actually bring it the piece all together. And I think that really helped along with the blue. The other thing I thought I could do, either with yellow paint or a yellow marker, was maybe even add a little bit of yellow on the body Again, just to bring in another color, a lighter color, but also to tie in the yellow here with the yellow in the cardboard. I might even add just a few designs on his ear too. So again, when you're playing with finishing up with the details, play with light and dark colors, play with different textures, yarn, wrapping paper, combine them, anything you have around the house. Have fun creating whatever you want. A robot, an animal. You can even make trees. Like if you would rather have a tree in your house, then just rip the cardboard up so that it's long and tall, and then make a top for it and make a tree. And then maybe you can make some smaller animals to actually glue onto the tree. So have fun, Happy New Year, and maybe I will see you again in another online art class.